Alright, Sultai Midrange just updated the stream decker and all that. I mentioned a hot second ago that I really love curving Thought Erasure into Thief of Sanity, and this is also another hostage taker deck. So we've got some similar elements to the Grixis deck that we just played, which makes sense since we're overlapping with the blue-black on the color pie a little bit. The core of this deck is very similar to straight green-black, except this deck is eschewing playing Planeswalkers and is instead playing a couple of Immortal Suns at the top end. But we have that Explore, Wildgrowth Walker package, etc. And some good removal spells. Let's jump into some games and see how this goes. Honestly, after playing the Grixis deck we just played, I probably wouldn't mind getting more Hostage Takers in here. I believe the fourth Wildgrowth Walker's in the board. You think no changes is unlikely? Nah. I think it's probably no changes. I would love to play first. Here's the thing that a lot of people who just like to have selective memories of our history often forget. Even when Splinter Twin was banned, it wasn't in every top 8. Like, Splinter Twin sporadically put 1 and 2 copies here. Splinter Twin, in fact, never even put 4 copies of itself in a single top 8. 3 copies of Splinter Twin was the most copies ever present in one Grand Prix top 8. They banned decks like Splinter Twin and Birthing Pod not because they were actually too good. They banned them because they needed to shake up Modern for the Pro Tour. That's what happened. Oh, this is a mistake. This is such a subtle mistake, too. So, okay, we're discarding cards, so it doesn't matter. If there was a spell on top of my deck that I wanted to keep there, I wouldn't be able to fetch with Evolving Wilds this turn, which would be awkward. So, really small potential mistake there. So, I was shuffling, so I should have shuffled before I surveilled. Tanuki Hero, thank you for the brand new tier 1 sub there. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here.
Our kinship ensures our victory. I will lend you my strength.
It's a little bit different for Hearthstone because we're comparing it would be like if Hearthstone modified cards in every major wild deck every update. So standard versus non-rotating makes a big difference. Have there ever been bugged with new cards day 1 release arena? I'm sure. Software is hard. I'm gonna keep, I want to hit my 6th land for the Immortal Sun, but I'm definitely not bidding Thief of Sanity here. Card's too good to not keep. Any of these mid-range matchup, Thief of Sanity is just very, very good. Yeah, but I mean, like, it all depends on, like, what your definition of needs to be banned as well, right? Like, what you say the definition of needs to be banned might be different than mine, might be different than 800 other people in chats, might be different than Wizards of the Coast. Back in paper, you were my favorite player when I saw you playing Glissa Control at SCG. That's a throwback. That was actually my first SCG Open top 8. It was my second ever Open. That deck was a hoot. Thanks for the support here. I appreciate it. Good to have you. You miss Kiki Cord. I miss Kiki Cord too.
No friend of
Unfortunately, I had to stop playing Kiki Cord so I could continue winning matches.
I see.
Nah, 3,100 of those people have the same opinions as that person. So only 800 of them have a different opinion. Yeah, Gaffy, I failed the top 8 the first Open I played in, and I decided that that wasn't good enough, so I decided to top 8 the second one. And remember, like, I hadn't played competitively for a very long time at that point, but I've been playing Magic, you know, for a very long time before that. Like, I started playing Magic with Odyssey in 2001, and pro tip, don't take Tristani with Thief, you'll be sad. I actually have a little bit of a beard right now. It's hard to see in the light. My beard was getting like really long and scraggly, and I don't like it when it gets too unruly. And I left the blade the edge guard that I usually use at home by mistake. Or at home at the other house. We're not fully moved into this house that I'm in right now. There's still some stuff at the old house. So I had to trim using a slightly shorter one than I usually use. Look at all of our toys. Look at all of our toys. You found that your math background made you better at Magic in general? Definitely. My math background just makes me better at games in general. Oh, yeah, if I get back Sun first, the Thief only costs 2. Good catch. Golden Demise sounds great here. I probably want an extra Vraska's Contempt for killing their Tristani. Cast down seems pretty bad here. Extra Wildgrowth Walker is probably not terrible, honestly. Also, and not to just inflate the egos of some people in chat, but to just like talk about things that I found are true. If you're someone who plays a lot of Magic, if you've ever played board games, especially deck building games with muggles, you'll understand that playing Magic and being familiar with Magic kind of makes your mind work in the direction of games a lot better than people who don't. Like people who play Magic tend to be more games focused, especially anything remotely competitive. Christy's pretty analytical, so she beats me with some consistency when we play games. But her coworkers from work, there was one time we were playing, I was playing a game for the first time with them that they all had played once or twice before, and they were like, oh good, we can beat you this time, and it was just like, we were just like 4 or 5 rounds into the game, and it was like very clear that I was gonna come out on top, and I was just like, yeah, it's not fair, I play games all day for my job. Have the unfair advantage of like 50 hours a week of games. I hold back so they don't all abandon me. See, I'm not a big fan of holding back, but my solution rather than hold back is find games with more variance. So games that have higher variance are a good equalizer. Yes, yes. The rules of Magic compared to a lot of other games are much, much better. Huh. I think I just take Sultai here, right? Because if the Thief of Sanity lives, they're not winning this game most likely, and Sultai insulates the Thief. Have I tried Artifact? I have tried Artifact, but I'm not a fan of its current state. My opponent instinctually clicked to keep their card there, forgetting the Thief of Sanity was there, and then realized the Thief of Sanity was there and conceded. I have not played Small World. I need to put up a board game page on my website. I have a bunch of games that we play pretty regularly, semi-regularly. We actually haven't played board games for a hot second. Now that we're, the old house was quickly becoming cluttered, and Christy and I were being lazy and being like, oh, we're moving soon, we'll clean when we move. So, now that we're in the new house and everything has a place, and we've thrown out a bunch of stuff, we will probably play games a little bit more often again. Perfect. Do my kids like board games? They love the idea of board games, but they're not great at following directions yet. My oldest is almost 5, so they're starting to get the hang of it. My kids are 5 and 3 and almost 5 and 3.5. It's like Jeskai control. I do accept decks with RNA. In fact, if you look at the deck queue on my website, I've got like 20 or 30 decks in there with I've not played Diplomacy. A lot of the games we end up playing are like resource management, Euro-style games. Exhale with the brand new Prime support. Thanks for shipping your Beza bucks this way this month. I appreciate that. Wilson Vita. 10 months already. Now that we have a semi-perfect mana base, is Magic ready for a new turtle format? I think so. I'm super excited for a new non-rotating. And Fenrisel. Thank you for the 3 months. I appreciate the quarter of a year. Does anyone know when the next Pro Tour is? I do not, and that's probably a problem. What's the conversion rates of Bezo bucks to? I don't know who that other name is. I know to real people money, one Twitch Prime sub turns into $3.50 pre-tax for me. So post-tax, it's probably like $2 and some change. Christy want to have a girl still. I don't think that we really want another specific gender, but we might have more kids. We've got enough bedrooms now that we can have more kids. I don't know. Kids are expensive, and like they're the things that you can do when your kids are like infants is like way more limited than when they're kids. Like I've had more fun as my kids have gotten older. Like, I've always loved my kids, but, like, they're way more fun at, like, 3 and almost 5 than they were as infants. Infants, they just lay there. Details on how to submit a deck to my queue can be found here. Should fetch lands be in the new non-rotating format? No, please don't. Hard pass. Was having kids a good decision? It was for me. This worked out okay.
See what you got.
Oh no, I forgot to bring a spoon down here with me this morning, which means I can't eat my fruit cup. I no longer the poop machines that once were. We're almost out of pull-ups. I'm super excited to be done with pull-ups. So, my opponent's at 1, but I'm pretty sure we're dead here. Like, their hand has to be like 6 counter spells for us to not be dead here. I don't want fetch lands in the new format because they make mana bases too good too easily, and they're really boring in paper. Fetch lands are basically loading screens. That's true. I guess I could drink it. Alright, fine. You talked me into drinking the fruit cup. Scalding Tarn's an example of a fetch land. Fetch lands are things that allow you to search your deck. Please be dead. Please be dead. Please be dead. I cannot believe that we won that game. That's unreal. They are. Man, our opponent should file for compensation because their deck has to be broken. That was incredibly unlucky for them. I mean, I'll take it, but that was incredibly unlucky for them. Alright, so what do I want? Negates. This is a Wildgrowth Walker out matchup, I think. Probably don't need 4 Contempts. This seems fine. I think Hostage Taker's fine. I guess they don't have that many creatures. Yeah, honestly, Wildgrowth Walker's probably better than Hostage Taker. There's like more early pressure. Let's give this a try. This hand's great. Turn 2 Thought Erasure, turn 3 Jadelight, set me up. I like the Brontodon suggestion. I think I agree with you that if we get to a third game, I'm gonna put Brontodon in over the Wildgrowth Walker. I think that's a solid suggestion. So right, sorry, yeah, I agree. Agree. Is there a reason why you don't have any high alerts in your new Bant Defenders deck? Pretty sure there's 3 of them. Yeah, there's 3 of them. Look at MTG Goldfish sorts new cards in a weird way. Looking for another blue source. I'm gonna bin that since I have this Vraska's Contempt. Oh, punished. Wow, I totally forgot that I had Evolving Wilds in my deck. And if I wouldn't have played the Swamp, I could have played the Evolving Wilds this turn.
We need to move quickly.
That's brutal. Sweet. Never punish, no justice, hashtag, got him.
Want me to phase you out of time?
Right, with this negate, we should be in a pretty good spot here. They need like Clarion plus a counterspell. What's going on, Mikey? No problem, Matt. I know I might like to listen to like Paramore and Rise Against in Linkin Park, but there are probably many of you out there watching right now that would prefer not to be subjected to my taste in music. Does deck do well against Golgari? I have no idea. We're playing this deck on stream for the first time today. Follow along with us and develop your own opinion. And what's awesome here is I still have negate up because the Immortal Sun makes it cost 1 less. Stop it. If you want to listen to my Pandora station, here's a link right here. I opt not to break my Twitch partner agreement while I stream, so you won't hear me streaming music that I don't have the rights to stream. If I let that happen, Watercat, I can't counter removal because my negate then costs 2. So.
stand by and watch. Keep up the pace.
So I'm going to end step Contempt this. So that way if they have a counter, they counter this. And then I untap and Eldest Reborn them. So, hoping they don't have a negate or a disdainful stroke here, so this Eldest Reborn can stick. If this doesn't resolve, I'm going to concede. Great, so you're saying there's a chance.
Time for plan B. As soon as I think
we are quite literally streaming Magic Arena right now. I stream about 2 parts Arena, 1 part Magic Online on this channel. So we do about somewhere between like 15 and 20 hours of Magic Online per week. We do like 25 to 30 hours of Magic Arena. Deal? I don't think they have any intention to publish any data about Magic Arena. I agree, Burgle. Yeah, if honestly, I think if MTGO not just like forget about all of the graphics for a second, if MTGO simply had an interactive overlay like Deckmaster for Arena, it would be able to bring more people in than it does now, but it just can't. Well. Alright, well, Trophy's gonna let us end step kill Seal away. And then untap and hit them with Thief of Sanity, hopefully. Does MTGO predate Windows XP? How old is XP at this point? It's probably similar timelines, right? MTGO is 2002. It's probably close to XP. XP was late 01. Yep, so very, very close timelines for those. Alright, so they either have another answer or don't have a counterspell. They must have another answer, right? Because if they didn't have a counterspell, they Chemist's Insight to look for one. Deckmaster is the name of the overlay that allows you to read the cards that are on my screen by mousing over them on your computer. We're pretty done here. So, our health total's nowhere near 0, but this game is over, so let's move to the next one. No. Arena only has fixed window sizes. It's a feature. Let's call it a feature. Yeah, with Trophy 2, I'm going to trim another Contempt and bring in 3 Thrashing Bronzodon. What's going on, Mortrex? Yeah, we were on the front page of Twitch for a little while today, which gave us a solid boost. We're actually over 9,000 at one point. Is it just Magic streaming, or is there a team for the Pro Tour? Just Magic streaming. I don't think they're interested really in breaking into paper Magic. If there's competitive stuff for Magic Arena at some point, I'll probably compete in that with their branding, but I don't have plans to get going on paper Magic. Wouldn't like one Carnage Tyrant host this matchup? Not necessarily. They play sweepers to destroy all creatures, and I have 2 Carnage Tyrants in my deck. Reasonable keep up top here. Yeah, Boros Guild Gate, maybe a little bit budget mana base from the opponent. That can stay right there. Does the blue splash make the deck better than straight black-green in my experience? I don't have enough games played to tell you with certainty whether or not it's better or worse. The number of games you need to play to make an educated statement like that is very, very high. I mean, can you just, like, compare Magic Online to what I'm playing right now, Ronan, and understand what people mean by looks old? What people mean when they say Magic Online looks old is Magic Online's not a video game. Magic Online is a paper Magic simulator, whereas Magic Arena is a Magic video game. This is an application that's an actual game. It's not just like, you know, what's the word I'm searching for? A spreadsheet, basically. It's not just Magic cards on your computer screen. I completely disagree, Perps. In fact, look at Artifact if you want to see what happens when you add the ability to have online gambling in your brand new game. All right, they stumbled and fumbled there a little bit. We're able to push him. I agree. Arena is a huge boost to Magic in general. Yeah. People who are super competitive tend to think that most other people think like them, when in reality, that's just not how it works. Zazie, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here. All right. This hand's a little awkward. This gets us all of our colors. This gets Basic Forest, but Basic Forest doesn't put this into play untapped, which kind of sucks. When are we getting the new house tour? Maybe after we get fully moved in. Like there's still boxes and stuff everywhere. Land, please. I have no idea, Fierce Deity. I also think this narrative that, like, they're pushing best of one everywhere is nonsense. The narrative that WotC's pushing best of one for Arena as opposed to what's likely the truth, which is Wizards of the Coast is stressed for timelines and they're trying to get this product to market ahead of schedule, their original schedule, so they're just, like, behind on features is probably the reality. I'm watching TV, but just want to make sure it wouldn't have been better to pass the third turn and then play the Thief on 4 for them to counter chemistry. I don't know, Wee McGee. I don't remember the exact situation at this point. I knew I just wanted to keep adding pressure to the table, though. Then add an option to buy individual cards. Here's the biggest problem with the Arena economy. The biggest problem with the Arena economy is that people don't understand it, even after having interacted with it. You can buy individual cards on Arena. Every 6 booster packs you buy, you get a guaranteed wild card. You can buy individual singles. Those wild cards turn into whatever cards you want them to be. Good lord, we are unfortunate. So I was hoping to hit a blue or black land to Thought Erasure after this Jadelight, but we bricked. Hey, Soulbit, thanks for the brand new Prime support. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here. What about the best of 1 in paper? Best of 1 in paper is no different than EDH or Modern or any of these other formats that exist in Magic. The reason why people love Magic is because it's a game that they can play in hundreds of different ways. And best of 1 is another new way to enjoy playing Magic. All of these people who are getting up in arms about the fact that, like, they're adding best of 1 support is nonsense to me. They're just selfish individuals because they think if there's a new game mode that they don't like, it's going to take away from the games they do like. It's not trading the result, Wallaby. You get 6 boosters and a wild card. A guaranteed wild card. They've not updated Arena to solve the 5th card issue yet. Are they gonna... Wow. I feel violated. They took my Thought Erasure and then counterspelled my Thought Erasure. Just like, copy my card, stop my card. That's incredibly rude. The shuffler algorithm is different in best of 1 versus best of 3 in Arena. I have some very smart, college-educated, like Magic for both periods. Yes, yes, it is very confusing. And honestly, the reason why it's confusing is because I'm sure there have been studies done by people with lots of dollars who wear suits and answer to, you know, the folks that cash the checks and write the checks, that the economy being confusing is more profitable. I would bet dollars to donuts that it's more profitable for games like this when the economy is confusing. And the big thing you have to remember too when interfacing with like there's a lot of arena devs that I've seen people give crap to, and like the people who are like physically actually coding arena, like, you know, I don't even remember their names. Nathan Price, and there's another guy that like does streams and stuff. Like, those folks aren't the people making the decisions about the arena economy. They're just Chris Clay, that's the other one. They're just programming what they're allowed to program. Like, anything regarding the economy, those decisions have to run way up the flagpole because it impacts the bottom line of the application. I completely agree, Tanuki Hero. I think, aside from the 5th card issue, the existing Magic Arena economy is actually very reasonable. The 5th card issue desperately needs to be addressed, and it's not good for the game. But outside of the 5th card problem, the current Arena economy is very reasonable, at least from a spend money standpoint. As someone who's spent 4 digits worth of dollars on Hearthstone and Arena and other digital card games, historically speaking, I like Arena's setup. Arena copy and paste their economy from literally every... That's it, just... So, here's the thing if you're one of my new viewers. If you want to post things that are factually incorrect in my chat, this isn't the rest of the internet. You get timed out.
I know.
Hex ran out of money. The lights are on, but nobody's home at Hex. And I'm going to concede after this gets countered. I mean, you can build mono blue for 20 to 30 bucks on Arena. And you can build most tier 1 decks for less than 100. It's because people don't want to look at a spreadsheet when they play a video game. People want to play a video game. They don't want to just play Magic on the computer. Because the expectation has been set by Hearthstone and Eternal and all these other card games that you're not just playing a card game on the computer, you're playing a video game that's also a card game. Pretty easy, boarding against the control deck again. Gonna trim these pieces of spot removal, trim a couple Contempts, trim Hostage Taker. It might feel weird to board out Contempt in a matchup like this, but it's pretty important that we do, because I still have 7 ways to answer Planeswalkers, and we don't want to get caught up with too many Planeswalker answers in our hand. I think the prizes for tourneys are not good, and you don't get excited to enter them. I don't play Arena to earn prizes. If your goal while playing Arena is to enable online gambling, I'd recommend playing poker instead. Yeah, this is more of a green-black with Erasure and Thief of Sanity, as opposed to like an aggro deck grinding value. What's the problem with Artifact? Artifact is basically the game you would get if someone asked the question, how do we make math homework competitive? Let's turn math homework into a competitive video game. And that's what Artifact would be. Have you noticed a spike in viewers since the Tempo Storm announcement? No, not really. This hand is great. It needs a second green source, but Thought Erasure can hopefully help us find them. Instead of me telling you your card idea is bad, if you want to suggest a card idea for the deck that we're playing, tell me why it's good. Generate discussion, make an argument. Say this card that you're not playing would be a good addition to your deck because... I also agree, Artifact alienated players in almost every way possible. It created a game that was more niche than Magic the Gathering, and then it used the most niche monetization model possible. I mean, so paper is just incredibly different from playing a game like this online. Paper Magic, the reason why Paper Magic has been successful for so long is because Paper Magic for many people is a social experience. Whereas, like, it's much harder for video games to enact a social experience. Yeah, Thief hitting a player who has counter spells in their deck is so unfair, it's just unreasonable. Their monetization model is they copy and pasted MTGO's monetization model. You can't copy and paste MTGO's monetization model in 2019. It just doesn't work. Okay, let's stand back up, shall we? Been sitting for like an hour. Man, this Thief of Sanity is going the distance. It's going for speed. It's all alone in its time of need. It's racing and pacing and plotting the course. It's probably cheaper than Magic Arena. Why is it bad? I don't know. Go read the piles of posts why it's greedy and bad. I'm not going to regurgitate things that you can find online. Oh no! I can't cast more copies of Teferi, chat. How will we win the game now if I can't cast more Teferis? This is awkward. So do I trophy the binding? I think I'm gonna play the Immortal Sun here, and then I'm gonna trophy their Azcanta. I think that's my line. They could have an Ionize here or a negate. That's unfortunate. Oh, I don't get the Teferi back. It's okay. It's gonna be okay, chat. It's gonna be okay. I'm all alone. Do 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 do. One doomy boy, please. Well, this game was looking really good for us, but they're slowly clawing their way out of it here. Hopefully this Doom Whisperer can surveil us until we find an answer to Teferi. Yep.
I won't hide from the world any longer. You know what? I'm not.
No, the Ixalan's binding explicitly says your opponents can't play cards with that name. Rude. Alright, well, I'm glad they're not pressuring my health total here. I just get to dig real deep. Deal. Alright, so need no counterspell here. I'm leading on Eldest Reborn as opposed to trying to bait a counterspell here because this plays around Syncopate. Alright, that puts us ahead here. We're not guaranteed to win. They have Chemister's Insight still, but you're definitely in the driver's seat again. I think I'm bidding that. I think I just need more action at this point. They have a lot of card draw left over. Cleansing Nova would be backbreaking. For sure. Yeah, they're getting to see a lot of cards here. JAC doesn't want 2 mana creatures. The only reason JAC plays Sylvan Curator is because it has hexproof. That's why it's acceptable. Alright, well, if they can't kill the Eldest Reborn next turn, I get to get a Teferi into play and start drawing some cards. Yes, that's why Cleansing Nova is really good here. Cleansing Nova would stop my Eldest Reborn from working, and it would get them their Teferi back.
I'm not going to send this one out. Let's take it back.
No, Yachini. Modern, listen, this is the question people always mess up for some reason. Modern is a fast, brutal format. Modern is a fast, brutal format. If it's not fast and brutal, it's not good enough. That was a good draw. We like to call a good draw in the biz. Will I be adding red-white land destruction to my website? If it's still good after the new set releases, I will be. I stopped adding new decks when we got close to the new set releasing.
Time for plan B.
We did play Landy this morning to keep the streak alive, JMP. It was the second deck we played today. What kind of car do I drive/want? I don't really care about fancy cars. What is it? We have a 2015 Nissan Rogue. And at some point, we're going to upgrade. We have an old Ford Focus that we're going to upgrade at some point when finances permit. We want to get a second, either minivan or small SUV. And thank you for the 17 months, JMP, by the way. And D20 Bandit, thank you for the 9 months. Welcome back. Is Landy in the queue for tomorrow? So, tomorrow and Wednesday are actually going to be all Legacy and Modern, JMP. Because I'm gonna pump the brakes on Standard until we get the new set released on Thursday. I think Bedevil's too slow for Modern. Again, brutal, fast, efficient. Those are the keys that you need to be good in Modern. Alright, I mean, I have the Eldest Reborn on top of my deck, so go. If I kill the Ixalan's Binding, it comes back under my opponent's control.
Decision time.
Electro Dominance might be good in Modern. Oh, we're dead. Rough. How are we doing, folks? Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to everybody wherever you're out in the world. Thanks for dropping in here today. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I'm a full-time streamer and content producer here on Twitch. I'm here playing Magic 30, 40, 50 hours a week. If you find yourself enjoying my content, please consider subscribing to my channel. My subscribers are the folks that keep me employed here full-time. I wouldn't be here day in and day out without their wonderful support. By subscribing, you can also support my stuff by checking out some of my very wonderful sponsors. The NRG Championship Series is a $5,000 cash tournament series that does tournaments every single month in the Midwestern United States. If you can't make it out to the Midwest and you want to check their events out still, you can find their events streaming every single month at twitch.tv/NRG series. Neo provides wonderful candy-flavored protein bars. They are pretty delicious. Using code Hoagland at bit.ly/HugoBar, you can save 10% on your orders there with them. BCW Supplies will love to help you protect your very valuable Magic the Gathering cards. Using code Jeff10 at bcwsupplies.com, you save 10% on sleeves, deck boxes, binders, and all sorts of other fantastic stuff there. And of course, I'd like to welcome everyone out there to Hoagland. You know, there's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. I appreciate you choosing to spend some of your day here with us. Drop it in. Remember, if you are new and enjoying the content, hit the follow button at the very least. Following the stream doesn't cost you anything. I'll let you know when I go live and with what. Yeah, I agree. Without Carnage Tyrant, that match seems like a tough nut to crack. Alright, let's shock this in. That's my Thought Erasure. I appreciate that I do best of 3 matches too. Ooh! Red-Black Pirates. This is a deck that I am super excited to play when we get cards from the new set here in a second. Super excited to play this. We played this on stream pretty recently, actually. And it was really awesome. And once it gets Blood Crypt and some of these other sweet Rakdos cards, I think it's going to be really, really good. Jadelight sounds great. Potentially draws me more cards and trades in combat. So I guess I lose Cast Down here, but at the same time I get to Hostage Taker their Freebooter. Pretty happy to trade this here if they offer it. So do I want a Hostage Taker? Or do I want to Jadelight Ranger here? If I Hostage Taker the Kite Sail, I get back my Cast Down, and then if I draw an untapped land next turn, I can Jadelight into Cast Down, which is nice. Alternatively, I can just Kite Sail plus Cast Down. Would you brew Gruul aggro with Riot plus Harpoon shenanigans? Yeah, definitely ones. That sounds sweet. So they need to attack to trigger raid here, but my creatures are well sized. You think Beckett Brass will be good? Potentially. I think there's a non-zero chance that could happen. So this attack seems pretty good. Oh, they have Dire Fleet Poisoner. I was gonna say this attack seems good for me, but they have the combat trick, right? All right, so I'm gonna trade here because if I put this here, they'll Dire Fleet this. This is a good play from the opponent. Silly opponent, I've played your limited cards before. Okay, well this gets the shock out of their hand, which is nice. And then I get to cast down the Rune Raider. There have been many hostages taken today. Yep. I'm gonna attack because I'm not blocking, because if I block, they just Dire Fleet Poisoner and kill my guy. Perfect. This lets me Jadelight plus cast down this turn. There's a mock-up of how I plan to build red-black pirates with the new set in the deck queue on my website if you want to check out how I plan to make the changes to it. Hey, JZ1, thank you very much for the support. I appreciate it. Here's the payment for a Gruul deck with Harpooner. Sounds good, will do. Thanks for the support. I think both Black-Red Pirates and Black-White Knights are probably decks that stand to be better with better mana. So I'm not blocking this turn, and the reason why I'm declining here is because I'm going to play a land and then play Immortal Sun. You can find my deck queue here on my website. Any plans for Temur ramp? There's a Temur amulet deck that's in the queue that's got some ramp spells in it. You can see all of the decks that have been submitted to be played for the new format already, except for the ones that have been submitted during the stream. I'll add those tonight when I'm done on my website in the deck queue. Is the bot dead? Oh, it's right above. Never mind. I'm gonna go ahead and trade here. We get ahead pretty quickly with the Immortal Sun here. Yep, the 17th at 8 a.m. Pacific. It's 11 a.m. Eastern. Debate our poison with the block and then cast down the buffed creature. Maybe. I don't know. I like getting the what's it called off the table right away. Well, that's one of their better cards here, but I think this is too little, too late. With the Immortal Sun and Thief of Sanity going, we're just gonna bury them in card advantage. The best move for when the new set drops is to spend your money in the way you will derive the most enjoyment from playing Magic. So if you enjoy playing Limited, then you should spend your money on Limited. If you enjoy playing Constructed, just buy packs and play Constructed. Hey, thanks, Great Story. I appreciate the compliment. It's interesting. I appreciate you taking the time to rate it too, because it's difficult to gauge like if front page things like that stick around for any viewers, especially with the game like Magic, where it can be a little bit harder to get into compared to some other games. So thanks for hanging out. So we've got a shock here to kill the Dire Fleet Neckbreaker, which is nice. This game wasn't wrapped up already. It's definitely gonna get a little bit further with these removal spells. What headphones do I use? I have a generic $30 headset off of Amazon. I'm not really picky about sound quality. I just wanted something that made noise. Actually, this is a good question. There's 2,800 people here. Did anybody, and you can DM me if you have one of these. Did anybody have a recommendation for a cheap set of computer speakers? I want something to like listen to music and watch videos on while I'm sitting in my office without putting the headset on to block out the kids. Because I want to be able to hear them in the other room. Do I want them on my desk or a Walmart? I think probably on my desk. Define cheap. Like sub 50 bucks? How cheap? Like sub 50? Logitech? That's my mouse. My mouse is almost old enough to drive a car. I'm gonna be very sad when my mouse breaks someday. Probably want to trim discard spells. As a control player on a 1 to 10 scale, how excited should I be for a 4-mana Wrath? It's really restrictive on the mana base, so like if you're planning to play black-white anyways, you should be excited. Soundbar on sale on Amazon. Yeah, things that come with Prime shipping are a plus. Awkward. Sometimes the magic happens. This hand's actually very good, and I'm going to keep this Golden Demise because hopefully Branchwalker's going to dig us to the third land. What do I think of Wilderness Reclamation? It seems like it has a lot of potential. I plan to try Bant Nexus without Wilderness Reclamation, but we'll definitely try it with it at some point as well. MX 580. I have this is a MX 510, I believe. We are a little bit of trouble, and by that I mean let's hit a third land for Golden Demise. I've had this MX510 since I was like 13 years old. So that's like pushing on 15 years at this point. Get my bonus to the Gruul deck too. Definitely JZ1. Thank you for the support and thank you for the 2-month resub. No blocks here. Their things have first strike. Thank you, Sean. God, I'm glad I remembered that while I was streaming. Saves me a tweet for later. Yep. Heyo! Alright. So you're saying there's a chance. Take a chance on me. This is, as someone who's been on this side of the attack as an aggro player, this attack is the most depressing thing in the world, because this is like the, I'm attacking with my thing that's about to die to my sweepers anyways, to see if I can get a hit in. Yeah, honestly, one of the things that's going to be interesting about Esper, and I think this is good design on their part, is if you'll notice, we don't have a 3-mana counterspell that only has 1 blue in it in Esper colors. So if you want to play Cancel or Sinister Sabotage, you can't play Kaya's Wrath very easily. Black-White Splash Teferi plus Negate might likely end up being the way Esper wants to be built. What's up with the graveyard? That's a good question. It's like the top card's like floating. Yeah, that's true. Erasure is good in a control deck. Oh, Rune Raider. Yeah, good call. Good call. Don't let them attack. It's a good A+ suggestion. Chat's been on point today. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I guess it's about 5.5 hours. Every 3 hours or so, the audio distorts. Hey, Lithanol, thank you for the 12 months there. I appreciate it. Welcome back. I'm gonna try and just finish this game up before we restart. Doom Whisper probably means we're good. I think this is gonna be the last match with the Sultai deck before we move on to Green White Explorer. I shaved a little bit low. The normal electric razor guard that I use, I forgot at the old house and we were snowed in, and my beard was bothering me because it was getting a little long and grungy. You think Absorb is tough to cast in Bant Tempo? I don't think so. So the Bant Tempo deck I'm going to start with has 4 copies of Absorb in it, and we'll see how it goes from there. It might be, but I want to try and start with 4. Doom Whisperer and Dream Eater are 2 of my favorite animations. Hey, Vanagalias, thank you very much for the Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine with that. Thunk. Alright, so Doom Boy just needs 1 more hit here. Bone Dragons is really good too. Yeah, we played against a Bone Dragon today. One of the deck lists that I have in my deck queue for the new set is Prime Speaker, is it Vanafir or whatever it is, the not birthing pod creature, and I'm going to put it in a Sultai shell with Bone Dragon. It seems sweet. Pod your Bone Dragon into Carnage Tyrant, like bring your Bone Dragon back, do it again. Sounds awesome. All right, let's talk about Sultai for a hot second here. This is definitely a deck. You'll notice there's 1 Evolving Wilds in my mana base. This is definitely a deck. Hey, Erdian, congrats on the move, and thanks for all the great content. Time to be out. Thanks for the 7 months. This is definitely a deck that's going to get better with Breeding Pool here soon, because this deck wants green early so it can play Jadelight Ranger, so having access to more green shocks is a big deal. Overall, I just continue to be impressed with Thought Erasure into Thief of Sanity. I don't know what the best possible shell for this is, but whatever. There's matches to be won for whoever can find a really good optimal Thought Erasure Thief of Sanity curve. Just some kind of blue-black mid-range tempo style shell. Hostage Taker fits in here really nicely too, not strictly because this card has synergy with the other cards, but because if you play Thief, they need to kill this, and then they also need to kill Hostage Taker, and if you're disrupting their hand while you do all of this, you're pretty likely for one of your important cards to stick. Alright. I actually haven't had a Vanifear submission for Modern yet.